Happy Monday. Come on in. Have your struggling readers ever expressed to you that they might feel like reading is not their favorite thing? Well, I think we all have them within our classroom, and I've been doing this series on teaching people in the Periscope world how to deal with that problem in their classroom. So could your struggling readers feel this way, blindfolded, feeling like they're not able to do what the other kids are able to do? This is my whole series that I've been doing for the past few months on iTeach TV Network. So I'm going to take you today into another component of fluency. I really felt like fluency, I'm going to flip the camera here. I really felt like fluency was something that I, as a reading specialist, needed to talk about deeply with people, because I've found that most teachers, being not reading specialists, have looked at fluency in a way that is very narrow-minded. And what I mean by that is not that they're not wanting to think of it differently, but all of our assessments, basically what they do is they show you their rate and they might show you their accuracy. And those are the two things that we seem to continually record when we're looking at what's going on with our children's fluency. But as a reading specialist, the one thing I found is that that can't be the only thing that determines how we decide what students need as far as reading goes. So yes, comprehension is part of it, but I wanted to dig a little deeper into fluency. We've done one on rate, and we've done one on expression. And you can also go back and look through my blog on www.linktoteach.com, or check out the iteachtvnetwork.com site, and on there you can find all the recaps of that. And then on my blog I also put more explanations, and then all of the presentations that I do, my slides are all up there too. So today we're going to dig a little deeper into fluency, and the component we're going to dig into is phrasing. Now, I've come across this book. You may have heard, if you know me at all, you may have heard that I love Jennifer Saravallo, and I've talked about her extensively. I think that people might, if they follow me, get a little tired of that, but you know what? As a reading specialist, I decided that, I needed to dig in, and I needed to find out what we could actually use, something concrete we could use to help our teachers in the classroom to meet the needs of our students. We're finding all these things that we need to meet, but how do we do that? How do we meet that? And there is so many ideas and so many places people can go that I really feel people are lost. Because do a quick Google search of what can I do to help a struggling reader, or how do I help fluency, and you're going to come up with a plethora of things that's going to be so overwhelming and so confusing that it's just too much, and teachers feel bogged down by it. We don't have time for that. So what I love about her book, and I'll show it to you in a second here, it's called The Reading Strategies Book. And if you know me, you've seen that I love this book, and I've been working very hard to create things for the teachers in my district to use this book easily. And so I've created lesson plans, anchor charts, guides, things like that. Today we're going to dig into goal 4 in her book, Teaching Fluency. And the one component that I found that resonated throughout her entire goal 4 pages was phrasing. Now, on my little blurb that I put, and I'll show you in just a second, phrasing is very important, because phrasing can show us many things. So let's go ahead and let's dig into what that is, because I think some of us think that it's just chunking words together, but it's much more than that. So I'm going to flip the screen and show you my slides. Okay, so moving on, this joke was actually something that I saw that did a great job of telling us what do we mean by phrasing. And it says, when I was a kid, my teacher looked my way and said, name 2 pronouns. And I said, who? Me? Now, many of you probably read that correctly, but think about our students, and they see all of these things in here. They see quotation marks, they see commas, they see question marks, and our younger students, they don't look at that. They're too busy looking at each and every word and reading each and every word. So they lose what, as an adult, we commonly see. So maybe they read it like this. When I was a kid, my teacher looked my way and said, name 2 pronouns. I said who? Me. Now, that didn't even make sense. So, flat out how to deliver and how to read with phrasing and intonation in the right places and done the correct way? Jokes. Jokes are perfect. You ever heard a joke someone delivered poorly? Yep, their intonation, their phrasing was all off. So to be a good joke teller, you have to know your joke, you have to practice your joke, and you have to group those words together and say them the way they were meant to be said. And that's what phrasing is all about. So we're going to move on, and I'm going to give you 3 things today really quick. Why is phrasing important? Who do I target when I'm working on phrasing? In other words, who needs this practice and who doesn't? And how do I help them improve that? Okay? So the first one we're going to move on to is, why is this important? Let me flip and show you my slide. Why is it important? Oh my goodness. If they are not phrasing properly, guess what? Comprehension will be lost. Have you ever had that student who reads very choppy? We call it robot reading, like one word at a time. Well, you know what? When we get our emergent readers, and they are beginning readers, then, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, they're spending so much time on worrying about the decoding process that they're doing it. They're reading it choppy, and the meaning is lost. I'm not saying we're going to produce readers that run out of the gates as first graders, but we can certainly show them the importance of it and show them how to practice it. The next thing is, have you had that student who reads too expressively? Okay, I'm going to just mimic someone here, and I don't mean it to be mean, but this is how one of my students would read. The dog went to the park, because he heard once that expression was important. And so everything he read with that same sing-songy tone. Has anyone ever had a student that does that? You hear them reading in class and everything is completely dramatic. Or do you have that like fast reader that and they think everything has to be like a speed reading contest because that's what good readers do, they read fast? Well, guess what? It's exhausting and comprehension is lost. Yes. Okay, so I'm seeing some hands up. So yeah, I think we have all seen this. There's ways to address this. I got one more. No regard to punctuation. And that example I just did with the joke, you don't use the right punctuation or pauses, your delivery's off, the joke's bad, nobody's going to understand it. And guess what? When you're a reader, if you don't read regarding punctuation, you're not going to understand it either. So when you hear your kids regarding punctuation or disregarding, punctuation, you're going to know they're not comprehending. So comprehension, that's why phrasing is important. And next, confidence. Now, you don't really need to see this slide for this. How many of us have those kids who are hiding when it's time to do some type of reading where they have to read and they're the only ones, or they're sitting with a partner, or they're in a group or whatever, but that child's going into a shell when it's time for oral reading to happen. It happens, and you know what? Since I'm a reading specialist, that's pretty much all I see. So it's forefront in my brain all the time. Confidence. So building confidence, they're going to feel more like a reader and they're going to be more apt to read if they get some practice in this area and they can learn how to handle it by using some of these strategies. Okay, so who do I target? This is very, very important because not every reader that has problems with phrasing needs to be getting this direct, explicit instruction in phrasing, okay? Let's talk about this. Kindergartners, ABC levels, no. They need to be working on letter sounds, words, sight words, decoding. They need to be worrying on that. They need to be worrying about print concepts. Book goes left to right. Pictures show me this information. Words show me this information. The internet, the last time I did this. Okay, so I don't see any hearts. Am I still here? All right, so moving along, who do I want to focus on? Okay, level D is about when kids start reading those where it's blinking in and out. Are you guys okay? We're all there? Okay, let me know if I lose reception, Cami. Okay, level D is where we start actually reading along and we're actually able to read a book, and those are the kids who say, I'm a reader, I can read. I'm coming in and out. Okay, I wondered. Let me know if someone let me know if it goes in and out again, I'll switch. All right, so E, F, and G, those are going to be your late first grade, where they're actually reading and they're moving along and the decoding's coming along and the sight words are coming along. Those are the kids that, grab them right away and teach them the correct phrasing right away, right out of the gates. Then they know this is something that's important. It's not just about speed. It's about knowing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing when I read and how I'm supposed to sound. You can do quick, and let me show you this, an informal assessment. Am I still going? I hope I'm still going. All right, so I'm going to try to scoot this down a little bit so you can see this better. An audio recording. Let me see if I can get it in there. Okay. Use an audio recording. Have the kids record themselves on a device. You don't always have to be sitting side by side with someone. You can listen to it later and you can talk to them about it later. You can do an informal running record like this. Do you see the check marks? All those check marks is they are each time a student reads a word, and then the slashes are when they paused. Okay, so you can see where there's 2 words put together, then 3, then 2. Guess what? That's okay. That's okay for this level reader. That's appropriate. But look at the bottom one. 1 word, 2 words, 1 word, 1. Okay, we're struggling. We need to practice this. So you can take any piece of material as long as it's on like their instructional level, and you can go ahead and do quick just piece of paper, pencil, and listen. And then you can go back and decide, how did they do? Did they read 1 word at a time, 2 words at a time? You don't even have to have that piece of material with you later. All you need is the check marks. All right, hopefully I'm still coming in and out. I know people have been having trouble with Periscope popping in and out. So how do I improve this? This is where we get to the meat. All right, direct instruction, small group. You see they're having a problem. They're doing 1 word at a time. They're choppy word reading, or they're not understanding what they're reading. You can tell because they're blowing through the punctuation. What am I going to do? You're going to develop small groups. Your guided reading groups is where you can take care of this. And you're going to work on those skills. You're going to try to schedule it in. My blog is www.linktoteach.com. And I think I have it back here too, and I'll show you at the end too. You need to do small group instruction for this. Not everybody needs to have direct instruction in this. This can be something you practice in centers. This can be something you do in guided reading time. This can be something you do as an individual thing. If you see someone doing something right away, you can take them aside and you can sit and work with them right away so that they see this, especially your young readers, you're emergent or you're just passing that emergent stage of reading. Let those kids know immediately. Immediate feedback is important, because if you correct these behaviors now, you're not going to be like me with a 5th grader who's doing too much expression or not understanding punctuation regards, and they're blowing right through that stuff. Those are hard habits to break. So I spend 95% of my time trying to break those habits. It's very difficult. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, and you can't break a habit. It's very difficult, okay? So catch them right away. The other thing is use appropriate strategies. Hello from Canada. That's awesome. Jennifer Saravallo's The Reading Strategies book, Goal 4. That's where you want to go. Now, what I've decided to do is that really gave me the background, the information I needed for this. But guess what I'm doing? I'm putting together lessons. So each of my teachers in my district will get the appropriate lessons for their appropriate level. So they'll get lessons which tell them a little bit how to make that lesson happen. Okay, not exact lesson, but how do you make these lessons? Anchor charts. These can be used for the teachers. They can be made into posters, and you can also make them into little task cards for the kids to have. And once you teach a strategy, if they need that strategy, they put in a little task card. They have a ring of them, and they can use them throughout their time, whether they're in centers, reading independently, reading at home, reading with you. Okay, and then some practice or some ways to document their practice, that once they're working on that skill, then you've got a way to actually have them reflect and then practice, okay? So that's what I've got, and I've got a bunch of them that I've started. And you know what I found out? That of the 20 of Goal 4 in Jennifer Saravallo's The Reading Strategy book for fluency, 13 of the 20 are on phrasing. So it's important. It's very important. Okay, choose appropriate materials. Do not just throw any old thing in front of them. Grade level materials, probably not an appropriate material to teach kids who are struggling with this. Take it down a level to their independent level. When you find materials at their independent level, and you know what, with my kids, something that interests them, so interest level, go ahead, pick it, use that for that. Take a snapshot from a piece of it and have them practice it. And in that Reading Strategies book, you'll see all different ways they can practice it together and in groups. Okay, how do I improve this now? Well, okay, you're going to practice, you're going to teach lessons. It can be fiction or nonfiction. They both have to be read different ways. And in Saravallo's strategy, she will tell you that it can be anything. But fiction has one way of being read, nonfiction has another. So text structure comes in, and the type of text they're reading, that also comes into play too. And there's some great activities on there called mirroring, where 2 kids sit together and they try to read the passage the same way together, because passages do have an appropriate way of being read. And so it's kind of neat to have the kids kind of help each other through that. And you can you can see them grow and you can see them change, and you can hear them reading it appropriately. No more robot reading, no more super expressive reading. It turns into what it needs to be. If it's informative, they sound informative. If it's for I guess if it's dialogue, you're going to hear that they read it with expression. That's appropriate as well too. Okay. Now, here's 2 key things I want to leave you with. 1, if you don't give kids time to reflect, if you don't give kids time to think about how they did with that practice, it doesn't become concrete with them. It doesn't resonate with them, okay? I want you to have them reflecting, and then take that reflection, you bet, take that reflection time and bring it into your conferencing time. So schedule some of your guided reading time to be, well, today I'm going to work with Susie and we're going to do a little conference on how she feels it's going. She knows one of her goals is phrasing. So how are we going to work on this, and what are we going to talk about? Okay, she can bring her little reflection sheets with her. She can bring her experiences with her and talk about it with you. You can sit down and actually hit it head on right in that group with the 2 of you. Okay, so setting those goals, meeting with your kids, allowing them time to reflect, using great strategies. I suggest Saravallo's strategies, and also finding good material that you can use, because if you use inappropriate material or material that's too hard or too easy, guess what? It's not going to work and it's not going to help. Okay, so if you want a recap of any of this stuff, you can go to my blog at www.linktoteach.com, and I'll show you my last slide. I'm on social media. You can ask me questions there. I'm also on, you can email me, and I'll show you my email, but please connect with me if you need any questions, or if you don't know what it would be a good on level, or what resources do you use for your struggling readers. I found tons of great resources, and they can be used throughout grade levels and levels. So I'm going to go ahead and flip, and I'm going to show you where you can reach me, and you can watch this replay if you missed any of it. I know it gets pretty tedious and boring, and it's summertime. We don't want to hear all this, but it is very important. And when you hit the ground running next year, and you've got some of these things under your belt, and you've heard that, and oh yes, you start implementing that, you start knowing where to go, where to grab things, you're going to be a much better teacher, and you're going to be feeling much, much better about it. Okay? Oh, you joined. I hope you're feeling better. I saw that you had surgery this week, so I hope you're feeling better. All right, I'm going to flip and show you my screen as to where you can contact me. All right, so I'm Linked to Teach at www.linktoteach.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, obviously here. I also have my own, and Snapchat. During the year, I do Snapchat, where I show you how I implement some of this stuff right in the classroom. There's my Gmail address, and guess what? I'm part of a blog now called All About Third Grade, and I actually love it. I thought at first, how do I fit into this? Because they're all third grade teachers, but guess what? Third graders read, right? and third grade teachers teach reading, right? So I have fit in nicely, and I'm so honored to be part of this group, because I've never met a more organized, wonderful group of teachers. And you might want to check out that blog. And right now we're actually doing a giveaway, so there's a good plug for that. Now, a little heads up, I do this every 2 weeks, but I will not be here in 2 weeks. I'm going to be here in a little shorter than 2 weeks. I'm going to try to do this on Saturday, July 30th during the day, because August 1st is actually my birthday, 50th. And don't tell anybody that. And then taking my whole family to St. Thomas, so it's going to be a blast. So anyway, you have a great summer. It's getting close to that time of year, so enjoy the rest of your summer, and I'm so glad. Your birthday's the 31st. We're almost birthday twins. So you guys have a great summer, and I can't wait. Oh, I wanted to tell you what I'm going to do next time. Sorry. Next time on the 30th, what I'm going to do, and I hope I don't step on Cammie's toes here, but you know what? Cammie's done a great job of showing us some apps. What I've been doing is taking those apps and figuring out how people can use them to differentiate in their classrooms, so especially reading-wise. So I'm going to show you 2 apps and how to start differentiating using those apps. So I think you're going to love that. All right? So you have a great day. Bye.